Welcome back and Happy New Year to my YouTube family, subscribers and non-subscribers. So I'm just going to get straight into it, guys. So after my short trip to the UK, I returned to Jamaica and I managed to secure this beautiful contract. This is a newly purchased one-bedroom apartment, and JA Land and Property Services has been hired to assist in the renovations. Initially, the project consisted of renovating the bathroom, renovating the kitchen, changing the ceiling fans, putting some spotlights in the bathroom, and some other additional stuff. Now, the client emailed me a brief of what she wanted, and of course, it's my job to bring that vision to life. Now, on this day, I did some shopping and managed to buy some tiles for the client, and this is the day I did the drop-off. Good morning, coming from sunny Jamaica, and what I love about these mornings is the foraging from my yard. Managed to get me some coconut jelly, managed to get me some June plum, some guava, but I'm not sure about them guavas, they've got holes in, and which means there might be some worms in there, so I wanted to make juice, but me feared of the worm them, so I'm not gonna make my juice. I'm gonna dash them away. Yes. And a big bunch of green banana, kind of young, but I had to chop them down because there's one man that cuts my yard, right? And one day the man come and cut off all of my banana them and never leave me not one for the with them. So me learn my lesson, if you cut them down before him reach. So yes. Okay guys, so here we have renovation number 2. What we're doing here is removing this vanity, replacing the vanity, I should say. We're taking out this bath and we're going to install a shower. We're also removing this laundry cabinet and we are changing the toilet. Okay, guys, so bearing in mind, this is 2 active renovations I have at the same time, okay? I've also got the babies going to school and the last one going to daycare. Now, after many months of purchasing materials, getting materials delivered to the address, this job finally began. Now, this should have been a fairly simple project, but you would not believe the setbacks that we had. As we speak, I am still actually rectifying some issues. Okay, so between school drop-off and school pickup, I only have 6 hours. So I have to ensure I'm using my time wisely. This is the brief for the previous projects that I just showed you guys earlier on in the video. So whilst the men are working, I've decided I'm going to organize myself and basically just write a list of materials that's needed and plan my next move. Apologies, the image isn't very clear, but this here is the vision for the bathroom renovation. This here was the vision for the kitchen renovation and a small change to one of the banisters within the front room. But after receiving the quote from my contractor, the client has decided to use us for the bathroom renovation only instead. After all that noise, as you guys can see, the bath is being demolished and attempted to be removed. And I'm not going to lie, guys, this is a bloody brilliant feeling. You know, the feeling from getting the contract, securing the contract, talking to the client about what she wants and actually seeing it happen. It's a good sense of satisfaction. All right, guys, watch this now. This image you see here is the beginning of a wall being built. Please note, there was no actual plan to build a wall, okay? But the reason this happened was due to the shower that was purchased being smaller than the actual area where the bath was. Now, when the contractor did the quote, he did all the measurements and, everything he was supposed to do. When the client and I chose the shower, I didn't even think to measure the shower doors. And my contractor did not even mention it to me. He did not say, Sashel, ensure you measure the doors because the shower needs to be so and so length. So this here was a huge learning experience for me. I'm not one to blame people, okay? I really hate the blame culture. What I do is I learn from this mistake. But this was an unforeseen circumstance that resulted in the client having to spend more money unnecessarily, and it really could have been avoided if certain things were done in the beginning, before the actual construction started. And at the same time, it's an inconvenience for me because when there are certain materials missing, it's me the workmen call. And it's me that has to rearrange my entire day, drop what I'm doing to ensure they've got everything they need. So on this day, I got the phone call that a wall needed to be built. Okay, I literally had to leave my house, go to the hardware store, buy the bricks, then find a truck driver to carry the bricks over to the house. It's a lot, man. And what these guys don't realize is I've got the babies, all right? So when it comes to the logistics of actually doing these things, it's not easy.
You notice the edges as well too? You notice I start with the edges.
So watch you now. This is a prime example of what I was just saying. It's the early hours of the morning and the children have risen. It's time for breakfast. As you can see, my house is a mess. And this is because I was out working the day before and I got home late with the children. They were tired, we went to bed, and this is what I've woken up to. Now, usually I'd wake up and I'll do my chores, get the kids tidied, and then sit down and work here at my workstation. But like I said, there are times when I get a call from workmen and I'm told they need bricks, they need steel, they need angle valves, they need certain things that they forgot to tell me to purchase. So then I have to drop what I'm doing, get my children ready, and hit the road to purchase materials that they should have told me needed purchasing before the construction even started. This causes me to fall behind on my chores, and this is what my home ends up looking like. So in the long run, I've had to make certain changes that has been a benefit to me in ensuring I'm maintaining my home, I am being a mum to my kids, and I'm being productive with the business so I can have that balance. So it's Friday, end of the week, and we're moving. So they've taken out the bathtub, and this here is the shower enclosure that they're building, okay, because the doors were too small, so we had to correct that. Not bad. So this client is working on a budget, okay, and did not want to retile the entire area after removing the bath. She was informed in advance that the tiles purchased would not match the tiles that are currently there. And she was fine with this. But tell me why these contractors was trying to convince me to convince her to tear down all the tiles and rebuild this and rebuild that. I see how they make extra money. So far, what I've witnessed is they will try to convince you to do more work than what is needed on the property so they get more money out of the project. So with most materials purchased for the bathroom renovation, project number 2 is ready to be underway. Bathroom renovation has started. As you can see, guys, the tiles are being demolished. Now, the client chose a really, really nice design for her bathroom, and I was really excited to see the outcome of this. But guys, I won't lie to you because this project did not come without its issues, just like the first one.
Yes.
Okay, so back to project number 2. You can see the wall has now been built. But look at the image good. What do you see? Plywood, plywood, holding up the shower enclosure and the wall. Now, why is there plywood there? I can envision some of you asking. Let me explain. So, wall has been built and the shower closure was ready to be installed. So tell me why I'm getting a phone call from this man telling me that the doors are shorter than what is actually advertised on the packaging. So he's seen the measurement on the packaging, okay? He's built the wall according to what it says on the packaging, meaning how, the width of the wall, how it's actually supposed to be. But it turns out he was too short, I think by, was it 6 inches, I believe? So now I'm vexed because another setback, okay? I've got to take this news to the client and we've also got to find a way to rectify this. All I can say is thank God for my client and thank God for her understanding because I can envision most people getting upset and cussing some serious bad word, and I am lucky I've yet to have the experience. So it was agreed that we would use plywood to fill the gap and we would eventually paint the wood with an oil paint. But this here actually caused a further delay in the project. Once again, me having to drop my own plans to ensure that we've got this plywood and this plywood is delivered for the project to continue, and then making the arrangement to get the workers back because when they're waiting for materials to be purchased, they go and do, other work that they've got going on. Sometimes there was like a gap of, 3 to 5 days before the work would even start again. And that's after the materials have been purchased because they're working elsewhere. They've got other projects. So this here is my backyard after Storm Melissa. This is the day straight after the storm, okay? What you're seeing here was all trees. I literally could not believe that I could see down the gully because the trees were gone. All right, that piece there where I'm showing you, that was full of water, and I was shocked at how quick the water had dried up. Now, this was my second time experiencing a hurricane in Jamaica, but my first time experiencing a hurricane that was this severe. And I'm not going to lie, guys, it was an experience. I'm very grateful indeed because the only thing me and my children lost was electricity. The property itself was fine, but we had run out of food and it was time to go to the grocery shops. So me and my babies decided to take a walk to see how badly, damage had been done within the local community, and to find the local shop to see if we can purchase some more food for the house because those couple of days in the house, the pitney them yam out everything. When me tell you say my tree pitney them yam like chichi, Lord God, them yam like chichi. I've got to say I'm blessed because the community I live in is I don't even know what to say. It was just look at it. No flooding, okay, not much damage whatsoever. Roofs are still on houses. So I can only imagine what those in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland were going through on this day. Okay, but I'm blessed enough to say that me and the kids were able to leave the house and walk to the mini mart. Alrighty, so we returned from our walk, and no current means no electricity. So I thought this would be the perfect time to teach my children how to wash out for them panty. You know, as a British born who's moved to Jamaica, I'm now realizing that these life skills are necessities for my girls, all right? Because we get storms, we lose current, and I want my girls to be able to still know how to, you know, basically how to live and have basic life skills when we don't have the current, no washing machine and so forth. So Melissa came, Melissa went. After a couple of weeks at home with no current and no internet, I returned back to work. And this is what I came back to. So as you can see, guys, this storm was a major disruption for the client, okay? Because not only did it make her have to spend some money cleaning up the place, by hiring a cleaner, it actually delayed the project even further because there was no current. So the plumbers and the tilers couldn't continue with the renovation of the bathroom because they needed current to utilize certain tools. Now, it took a very, very long time for the light to come back to this apartment. So what my client decided to do was to hire a generator so the contractors could continue with their work. So finally, the tiling has begun, okay? All demolition was complete, bathtub out, tiles gone, new tiles being grouted onto the walls, and the final preparation in order for the shower to be installed. But obviously, before the shower can be installed, the tiling needs to be completed.
You notice it's corroded?
Yes.
That's because there's a leak coming from. The leak is, you soon see it start dripping, right? See it right there?
Yes, I see.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So that has been happening for a long time. That's why this section looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
But because the board is here, no one take note of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have to install these. I have to do the entire setup.
Okay, and that
But
enables
the
her to
leak-
lock off the water.
Lock off the water from the
All
bathroom.
right then, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so she's got two separate ones, isn't it? One for the bathroom, one for the kitchen.
No, the one for the kitchen hasn't set as yet.
Okay, so it's
No,
just the bathroom lock
just
off.
the bathroom.
All right.
Yeah.
So she
But you
knows
can
these
lock off
things.
the bathroom and the kitchen still has water.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you can isolate them.
All right, good. Okay, guys, so if you look here, okay, this is the client's brief as previously mentioned earlier in the video, and she wanted to create a wet room style shower, if that makes sense. So in order for that to happen, I had to go and find a shower enclosure that's suitable for a wet room. This is the one that was purchased. Now, before it was purchased, this picture was taken, it was sent to the contractor by myself, and I asked him, is this going to fit in the bathroom for the renovation? His answer was yes. So somebody tell me why I received a phone call informing me that this shower enclosure was too big for the bathroom, okay, and that it had to be exchanged. It was purchased from Rapid, True Value, okay? Luckily, they have an exchange policy that gives you up to 30 days, all right? But once again, another headache for myself, another headache for my customer, because I've got to make the arrangements to get the shower enclosure back to Rapid, okay, and hopefully get a refund, which I wasn't able to get, so I was able to get a credit note. But then that meant my client had to purchase a new enclosure, and the size that the plumber recommended was nowhere to be found. So I should say she found a store in Kingston that made these enclosures and cut them to size, custom size, and she had to get one cut. And do you want to hear the icing on the cake? The plumber told me he was going to take the shower enclosure. He didn't say pay for it. He said take the shower enclosure. So as I am going through these projects, I'm realizing why people overseas have issues with construction projects whilst they're not on the island. Because if I wasn't managing this project, what would he really have just taken it? And, just taken it? I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so we had setback number 1 being Melissa. Okay, setback number 2 being the shower enclosure. But project continues, and my client was able to find a cleaner who did a brilliant job at cleaning this floor. It went from this to this. Okay, guys, so the bathroom is starting finally to look like the client's vision, but I forgot to mention this setback. Now, originally the vanity was next to the toilet, but we ended up having to change the position of the vanity because it was too big to go into the space where the old vanity was. But guys, so far so good. What do you think? We're almost there. Now, guys, I have to be honest and say that my client was not happy with the shower enclosure. Okay, she thought the width was way too small. The width is 24 inches. This is the width that the plumber recommended, and he apparently recommended this size due to easy access in and out of the shower. Because he was saying that not everybody is slim, some people are overweight, and it can be quite difficult to enter the shower if the enclosure is too wide. So with the new vanity going into another area of the bathroom, we had to actually re-tile the floor where the old vanity was. And there you have it. Look at this transformation, guys. Amazing. Project 2 looking good also. As you can see, vanities have been installed and the new toilet has been replaced. But we are definitely not finished. Look at this. Now, remember I mentioned about the doors, the width of the door, being too small. It actually looks like one door is shorter than the other. So the plumber has said there's absolutely nothing he can do, okay? So obviously I've gone back to the hardware now. I went back to them when we found out that the width of the doors are not the actual width that's advertised on the box, okay? And they will not accept accountability. As far as they're concerned, the plumber does not know how to install the shower. I brought this back to the plumber, and the plumber was not happy with what they had stated because as far as he's concerned, he's been installing showers for a very long time, and as far as he's concerned, if the doors were the same height, they wouldn't look so. Surely if these doors were the same height, this gap would not be there. But they're telling me that one door is always shorter than the other and the plumber's definitely done something wrong. Now, this is the same shower enclosure that I've purchased, okay? This is the shower enclosure on display in the store. There's no gap. So what the hardware store has suggested is I contact an individual. This individual is the person they use to set up their showers for customers. So they have suggested I contact him and I have him look at the shower and I have him explain to me what the plumber has done wrong, if anything. Now, it's a win-win either way because once he looks at the shower enclosure, he will either say, yes, the plumber installed it wrong, let me fix it, or no, actually, one door is too short and it needs to be exchanged. But once again, another setback, another unforeseen circumstance, which is most likely going to cost my client more money because she's going to have to pay someone else now to have a look at this enclosure and repair it basically. So there you have it, guys. I really hope you guys can see why I'm so inconsistent with my YouTube channel. I've got a lot going on, work, my children, and balancing, my household and everything else. But I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying every moment. It's a new year. I'm going to have new challenges. I'm going to have new setbacks, and I'm going to accept them with grace. And last but not least, guys, I am looking for contractors that I can build partnerships with because at the moment I'm working with one contractor and whilst working with these projects, I've realized I need to have more than one contractor. All right, so if you guys know anybody that specializes in any form of construction, please send them my way. Thank you for your support on this YouTube channel. Thank you for your patience. Please do like, please do share. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe because I'm trying my best to become consistent so I can become monetized. I'm not yet monetized, guys, and I know that's down to me and my consistency. All right, so if you know anybody that has an interest in Jamaica, project management in Jamaica, a woman just trying to, build her legacy, this is the channel for you.